Welcome to a new deep dive. Today, we're cutting through the noise to get to the heart of a tool that's pretty essential for anyone managing security systems. We've got a detailed stack of sources here, everything from its, core description to FAQs and even its update history. Our mission for you today is to unpack everything you need to know about EZTools 2.0, it's a device management solution, and understand how it simplifies a pretty complex task. Okay, let's jump in.
Indeed. Yeah, this deep dive should give you a clear, comprehensive understanding of how this specific tool works, what problems it really solves, and why it's, frankly, a valuable asset for technicians and admins working with network devices like IP cameras and NVRs. We'll explore its features, its capabilities, and the practical side of things for real-world deployments.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning. At its core, what exactly is EZTools 2.0? What's its main purpose?
Right. So EZTools 2.0 is essentially presented as an all-in-one free utility. It's designed specifically by Uniview for efficient discovery, configuration, and maintenance of their network devices. It streamlines tasks like batch IP address modification, think of changing lots of IPs at once, firmware upgrades, password changes, and just overall system maintenance.
That sounds like a huge time saver, and here's where it gets really interesting. What are the core benefits that make this tool stand out for someone, say, working with large-scale deployments? Lots of cameras, lots of NVRs.
Yeah, the key benefits are quite clear, especially at scale. Firstly, it promises to save hours on deployments. I mean, potentially days. It basically eliminates the need to configure devices one by one, thanks to these powerful batch processing capabilities for IPs, passwords, settings, the works.
Hours saved, that's big.
Definitely. Secondly, it offers centralized control. It lets users manage every camera and NVR on their local network from just one single, pretty intuitive dashboard. This also ties into security and stability through effortless batch firmware upgrades, keeping devices patched and protected. And finally, something maybe less obvious but really useful, it helps you plan storage with confidence using a built-in HDD Capacity Calculator.
All right, that makes sense. So what does this all mean in practice? So let's talk about the specific features that deliver these benefits. How does it actually do all this?
Absolutely. The tool has several pretty robust features. Let's start with device discovery and management. It lets you search for all online devices on your LAN, your local network. Then you can quickly modify IP addresses, change admin passwords, configure network settings, often in batches. The initial setup is made quite easy too. There's even a video tutorial showing how you can discover all the devices with just like a single click.
Right, finding everything first is crucial, and the batch config.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that being a massive relief. What about tweaking individual cameras once they're found?
Good question. That's where the advanced channel configuration comes into play. You can remotely adjust individual camera image settings, brightness, contrast, that sort of thing. You can also fine-tune encoding parameters, which affects bandwidth and storage, and customize the on-screen display, the OSD, and audio settings too.
So granular control is still there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then there's the batch firmware upgrades. This is critical for security, as we mentioned. You can upgrade multiple devices at the same time, either from a file you have locally or directly from the EZCloud.
Huge. Keeping firmware updated is, well, it's a constant battle, isn't it? But necessary. What other maintenance tools are packed in there?
Beyond upgrades, it provides critical remote tasks, like restoring devices to factory defaults, maybe if something goes wrong. You can import or export configurations and restart devices remotely. And what's fascinating here is the ability to export a device's entire configuration to a file.
Ah, okay. For backups. Or cloning setups.
Precisely. Invaluable for backups or for replicating setups across multiple identical devices. Saves a ton of repetitive work. Then there's NVR channel management. This simplifies adding or deleting camera channels from your NVRs as your system grows or changes, makes scaling much smoother. And that HDD Capacity Calculator we mentioned earlier, it's actually really handy. You can tell it, say, I have 20 cameras at this resolution and I need 30 days of recording. It'll tell you how much disk space you need. Or you can flip it around. I have 10 terabytes of space. How many days can I record these cameras for? It removes the guesswork.
That is useful, especially for quoting jobs or planning upgrades. Okay, this brings up an important question. Compatibility. What operating systems does it run on? And crucially, can it play nice with other brands, not just Uniview?
Good point. So EZTools 2.0 is designed for Windows environments. It's fully compatible with Windows 7, 8, 10, and 11, both 32-bit and 64-bit versions. It's important to note, though, a macOS version is not currently available, so Mac users are out of luck for now.
Okay, Windows only. What about mixing brands?
Yes, and this is a big plus. It can discover and perform basic management on any third-party device that is ONVIF compliant.
ONVIF, right, the industry standard protocol.
Exactly. ONVIF compliance basically means different manufacturers' IP devices can talk to each other.
Mm.
So yeah, this gives you a significant advantage for managing mixed brand environments from just one application. Huge potential for flexibility there.
That's incredibly useful. Avoids getting totally locked into one vendor. Now, what about common issues or specific scenarios users might run into? Any gotchas?
Yeah, there are some common questions. For instance, if devices aren't showing up when you search the network, that usually means your computer running EZTools is on a different IP subnet than the devices themselves. Think of it like being on a different street in the network neighborhood.
Hmm.
Or sometimes a firewall could be blocking the discovery protocol.
So the PC needs to be on the same logical network segment.
Absolutely. Your PC must be on the same subnet. Also, you might see login failed errors, even when you know the password is correct. This often happens if the device's own IP address and gateway settings aren't properly configured for the network it's on, relative to the computer running the tool. You usually need to correct the device's IP settings first.
Okay, network config fundamentals are still key then.
Definitely. It's also powerful enough, interestingly, to detect and manage cameras connected directly to an NVR's built-in PoE ports.
Ah, the ports that provide power and network through the Ethernet cable.
That's right, power over Ethernet. So even those cameras plug straight into the NDR, you can often manage them and do batch firmware upgrades right through EZTools. And for documentation or inventory, you can export a detailed list of all the discovered devices model, IP address, firmware version, everything straight to an Excel file. Very handy. Plus, that batch password modification feature. It's great for initial setup, sure, but also for ongoing security hygiene, like enforcing regular password updates.
It really seems like this tool is constantly evolving. What do the recent updates tell us about its ongoing development? Are they actively improving it?
Oh yeah, the update logs show a clear, continuous effort to improve stability, security, and compatibility. It's not static at all. For example, the latest version we saw, RWEM 122.2.6.1, it specifically fixed a bug with batch IP modification and improved stability when you're exporting really large device lists. It also had some minor security tweaks. And looking back at earlier versions, you see them adding support for new camera series, optimizing the discovery algorithms, especially for larger networks, and fixing issues with things like password changes or firmware upgrades getting interrupted. It really shows an active commitment to refining the user experience and making the system more robust, likely based on feedback from people actually using it.
So we've really unpacked EZTools 2.0 today, haven't we? From its main goal of centralizing Uniview device management to its pretty impressive batch processing capabilities, and even its ability to integrate with other ONVIF compliant devices. It's clearly designed to save you time and boost your efficiency.
Yeah,
Big time.
indeed. Yeah, and if you connect this to the bigger picture, the ability to centralize and automate these tasks, configuration, upgrades, maintenance, it really underscores a fundamental shift in how complex systems like security networks are managed. It turns potential headaches into, well, streamlined operations. Knowledge truly is most valuable when you understand it and can apply it to make these crucial operations smoother.
Right. And thinking about the power of a free, all-in-one solution like this, one that can manage diverse devices, help plan storage, what does this level of centralized control truly enable for the future of security systems, not just in terms of efficiency, but also in adapting to ever-changing threats and technologies? Something for you to chew on.